What's up, guys? I'm Nell.
And I'm KJ.
And we're the hosts of Millennial Talk. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Millennial Talk. We are here today with our co-hosts, Courtney and Matt.
And today we're going to be talking about ambivalent relationships.
Yes, so KJ, tell us all about what that even means.
So ambivalent relationships, friendships, is really used mainly for like relationships, but you can definitely be used within friendships as well. It's pretty much when you have, say you have a friend, say Matt is my friend. He is my
Say you have a friend. He has three friends sitting right here.
Say, okay. So Matt is friend A and Nell is friend B. I tell him...
He's gonna make me the bad guy watch.
He is.
Go ahead.
I made you the good guy last time.
Yeah, last time, but now the camera's rolling.
I'm friend A.
Okay. She's friend A and he's friend B.
Well, what the hell, man?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, guys.
I can't quit. I can't win. Anyway, so pretty much, friend A, I tell her this wonderful news about me. My girlfriend just got pregnant, and we're expecting a new a baby boy, and she reacts this way.
That's amazing! Yay!
Yeah. Right? And then you have friend B, and I tell him the same news about I'm having a baby boy.
That's great.
So pretty much he's not like as happy
How are you
for
going
me.
to afford it?
Yeah, he's really not as happy for me. So the difference between friend A and friend B is friend A, they're genuinely happy for you, and friend B, they're kind of like those people that wish you wishing for my downfall, like that type of friend. And in your mind, you're trying to figure out, is this friend really here for me, or if they're like only here for the things I can provide for them, or for just certain things, or are they actually my friend? And it's trying to figure out like that whole mindset that you go through. So ambivalent friends are like, they're kind of hard for people to deal with, and it is really bad within like your mental health, because you're trying to figure out if these people are really your friends, or if they're really there for you, or if they're just there to see you fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what ambivalent relationships is. It was a really long explanation, but I hope you guys got it. We're gonna put a definition down below, so you guys can.
We'll link you to a definition down below.
that. And yeah.
All right. So who wants to start? Their thoughts on this topic.
It's a tough topic.
I know. I think I'm
It's
in
an
the middle.
interesting topic. You said you're in the middle?
I'm in the middle.
What do you mean?
Because I'm on like both sides.
What do you mean
I'm
you're
on both
on
sides.
both sides?
I feel like I'm a both sides type of person where I'm that friend who's happy for you, but then in another situation,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I'm that friend who's like, but what are you doing?
It also depends on the friend, I guess.
What I want to say is don't get it confused with the friend that's like concerned about their friend, saying like, okay, he could easily be the concerned friend and say, oh, I'm happy for you, but you just lost your job. Can you afford a baby right now?
I didn't hear about that.
Versus,
Sorry.
it's my job. Stop. Versus, stop making me laugh. Versus being that friend who's like, oh, you're having a baby. Congrats. When does it due? Oh, okay, that's nice. Like, you can afford it, right? Like, oh, yeah, that's nice. So they're not generally happy for you.
Yeah.
Because it's like, a better example is, I won the lottery. Oh my God, so happy for you. It's like, oh, you won the lottery? So it's like, you have to find the difference between those friends, because it could be someone who may be generally concerned for you versus someone who's just hating on you and does not want you to do great.
So the example that you just gave, would it be fair to say that like the happy friend or whatever is someone that's like excited, like, oh my gosh, like that's great, but the, what is it called, ambivalent friend? They are almost not, it's like they're saying it in a way that's almost sarcastic, but the point of them saying the way they're saying it is to almost make you less happy about whatever it is that you were happy about.
That's their
Basically,
intention.
it's kind of like trying to tear you down from within without actually doing it.
So I guess my question to you is how do you tell the difference? You said don't get them confused. How do you tell the difference between the friend that's saying it in a way that's trying to like bring you down and trying to like put doubt in your mind versus that friend that is concerned?
Well, I don't think it happens on like one occasion. It's something that you're really gonna have to think about and really gonna have to look back on. So it's like you're my friends, and you've been my friends for a while now. I go back and look at the first time I met you back in 2014 or 13, I don't really remember. 2014, I think. And if I look back on 2014 up until now, 2018, and I notice a pattern of every time I told you good news, you weren't excited for me. You were just like, oh, okay, that's nice. And you moved on because you didn't want me to be successful. You didn't want me to do great things. That's like a pattern. I'm like, okay, that's an ambivalent friend because I'm constantly battling with myself on if you're actually my friend or not. And that's basically what it's not even just like the things that they do. It's if that person makes you feel like they make you think that they're not your friend, it's hard for you. It's like a mental thing that you have to deal with, and a friend shouldn't do that to you.
I feel like it's that friend that your parents tell you the whole time, I don't think that's your friend, but you don't listen. And then later in life, you're like, I see what you were talking about. It's like they're hurting you, but you don't see it.
So, like, now that you guys, like, know what an ambivalent friend or an ambivalent relationship is, looking back on your life, do you guys think that you had those type of friends?
Wow. Who hasn't?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't.
Absolutely.
You don't think you had it?
I can't. Nobody comes to mind. No.
Yes, you
but I think that okay. Here's the other thing that I was going to bring up. When the first time you brought this up, the first thing that crossed my mind was, what if that personality, not the intent to bring someone down, but the personality or the characteristic or the trait where you just are kind of like a mellow person and you don't have like those highs, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What if that is your personality? Because I feel like that's me.
But I think as a friend, you would
know
recognize
that.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You would recognize that in a person.
Because that's what I was going to ask you, like, because I'm not that person. Like, you know how, like, in movies and TV shows, like, when girls get excited, they're, like, screaming and, like, eh! Like, I know.
But I don't know, because you do get that happy.
No, I don't.
Okay, pause. When I got a certain job on campus, the woodpecker job, the senior woodpecker
I'm
job.
done.
Oh my God, these names.
You were like, oh, I knew you would get it. Like, you were so happy for me. You were
She's
so
like,
happy for me. Like, I remember.
And I feel like, but like, okay, so you're around me a lot more. Would you say that I have like those highs, or am I pretty like mellow most of the time?
I feel like your highs aren't as
highs
high as
other
everybody
people's.
else.
Yeah.
Like, it's
You
like
did get very
mellow
excited
highs. Like,
for
she
me.
gets excited, but it's definitely not like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like,
I would definitely
oh, yeah.
be able to tell if you went from, oh my God, I'm so happy for you, congratulations, to, oh, you got the senior woodpecker job? Congrats.
It's like sometimes her voice, sometimes her voice is like, yeah, yeah. And other times it's like, excited, like you are now. Like, that's the most excited I'm going to see you.
Exactly.
Like, because when you're talking to your mom, you're like, yeah.
I just am a pretty like basic line, like flat line person.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's me.
I don't know,
I'm
like
hyped.
these friendships are very like, that you can't tell right off the bat because a person could be in a certain mood. They could be sad, mad, so something could be going on with their day, and they want to genuinely be happy for you, but they may not be able to. So I wouldn't say to necessarily.
Sorry, continue.
I wouldn't say necessarily like as soon as you tell someone, like I tell Courtney, I say, Courtney, I just won American Idol, and then she goes, oh my gosh, or she goes, oh, I'm so happy for you, and like I know that she's usually like very happy. I wouldn't say, oh, she's a hater, I'm cutting her off. Like I don't think that's something you should do.
Yeah.
It's something to like go back on and look at a trend of things, because that's one thing that I do. I don't just cut someone off. It's always things that add up, and I go back and I'm like, okay, I gotta look through my files and look, okay, this was incident 1, this was incident number 2. Okay, we on incident 5 now. We already passed 3 strikes. I gave you 2 more chances. You need to get cut off at this point.
Actually,
So
I feel like there is kind of a person that comes to mind, but it wasn't directed towards me. It was directed to that person.
Before.
Yeah, that person's friend. I've seen them do it to like their friends, but they've never done it to me.
Okay.
So it's like, I guess I kind of understand what you're saying, and you know the person I'm thinking of. And it's like, I guess I understand, but it's like, I feel like
Stick
I
in the
don't.
heart.
I mean, you definitely know who it is. It's somebody that I'm not fond of at all. You know that.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And they have done that to their ex-best friend. Like, I've seen them do it. And I've seen them do it to other people. So it's like, I get what you're saying, but like, I don't feel like I have personal experience with that, so I don't know.
All right.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
have experience
just
with
someone who's toxic to you.
Yeah.
You know, someone that just makes your life worse.
Makes your wife worse.
Makes your life worse. Let's edit that out. Makes your life much worse than it should be. It makes you feel anxious around them. You know.
Yeah.
makes you anxious about the stuff that you're going through. You know, it doesn't offer support. So.
Because it's definitely one of those things where it's just like when you're around them, like you genuinely want to be around them, but then everything that happens, you say something, do you look at their reaction, and you're thinking like, okay, are they happy with what I said? Maybe I should change what I said. And it's kind of like you're constantly self-editing yourself so that person would react the way you want them to react, and you shouldn't have to do that.
Never.
And a lot of people do that self-consciously, and they don't even know that they're doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think one thing is to talk about it and to understand it. But do you guys like have any tips for people who may have experienced this, and tips on like cutting people off or talking to that person about it or anything like that?
I feel like I still have questions for you because you said that it's something that you have to look at as like a trend that you have to kind of pay attention to.
Yeah.
So
I'm not an expert on this.
No, I know, but
So,
I'm curious to hear, and not just you. Like anybody can jump in on this question. Yeah. But if it's a situation, okay. So let's say you told them something one time and like they were excited. You told them something another time and they weren't quite as excited. You don't necessarily know why. Told them something again, they weren't as excited. Maybe like 3 or 4 different times go by. You tell them something and they weren't quite as excited as they could have been or as you would have hoped for them to have been or whatever. But what if there was like a reason behind all those times that you just don't know about, and now we're telling people like, oh, you have to look at the trends, and they go back and they look at the trends and like, oh, this friend did da-da-da. But it's like, what if the first time they didn't give you the right reaction? Maybe they were having a bad day, or maybe it was another situation where it happened again, and maybe it happened again because it's not so much that they're not happy for you or they don't want you to succeed, but maybe whatever it is that you're talking to them about, they genuinely like don't care. Not that they don't care about you, but like if you were really excited about a Marvel movie, like I don't care about Marvel movies, but like obviously you would know this, like you wouldn't come to me, excited about that. But like in the event that you did, like in the event that happened, it's like I'm not like not happy that you saw the new Ant-Man or whatever.
Don't care.
Yeah, I just don't care. So it's like, how do you gauge like?
But that goes back to she knows you don't like Marvel movies, so like she wouldn't expect that type of reaction from you. But that also doesn't really have anything to do with her personally. Like saying like, that's why I use the example of I'm pregnant or I just got a new car or like I just won a lottery, like things that like people should usually generally be happy for you. Like, oh my God, you're pregnant. Oh my God, you won a lottery. Let's go shopping.
I feel like going back on what she said though with the pregnant thing. What if they just don't like kids? Then they're just like, oh,
that's.
Okay,
I was literally about to say that. You took the words right out my mouth.
But listen, you can go ahead.
I think you would know that from the friend, right?
Yeah.
But either way, like if you don't like kids, as a friend, say Matt likes kids and he wants kids, and I don't like kids, but
that's completely false.
I know I love kids, but if he had kids. And I know I don't like him, but I knew it was his dream to have kids. I'd be so happy for him.
Right, but it's like, I would be like, yes, like I'm happy for you.
Yes.
But it's like, I can't be like, oh my gosh, like that's so exciting. Because like, I'm not genuinely excited. I'm happy that you're excited, but I'm not excited.
As a friend, we know that Nell's not going to be excited about this. But we're not going to expect that reaction from you. But it's just like, those different types of friends.
So I think that that's something that needs to be made clear to the people that are listening or watching is that you can't just go through your list of friends and be like, oh, they didn't give me the reaction. And this time, it's like you have to know the person, know what kind of. Yes, but I feel like we didn't emphasize that because you were like, oh, do you have any tips? Like that's a main tip is you need to know the person that you're evaluating or going back through your history, your log, your files, whatever.
Definitely.
You need to know that person to be able to understand why they didn't give you the reaction that you were expecting or hoping for or whatever.
I would say you also need to talk to them first before you cut them off because I always try to give people chances before I cut them off, like a conversation.
Try to understand.
And then if they didn't give me a response that I wanted, then I cut them off.
And I don't really think it's like the response that you wanted. It's just a response that shows you that they don't care about you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be the thing that it was, but it's like if they don't generally care about you, that's when it gotta go.
And I would say too, to look for more so than them just not being the level of excitement that you want, to look for times where they're almost being like discouraging. Like, it's one thing, like you said, to be concerned and be like, are you sure like, this is a good idea, whatever. But if it's like every single time and they're constantly like questioning you or your choices or why you're happy about something or trying to like talk you out of doing something, then you might either you need to look at yourself because maybe you're making a lot of bad decisions, or you need to look at that friend because they probably shouldn't, shouldn't be discouraging you from everything you want to do.
Talking from personal experience, I had a friend who, like I'm saying, going back off the parent thing, as we were growing up, slowly she would say these things, or we would compete with our best friend, or will always be something. As we're going to college, she says to me and our other friend, well, I'm going to be a different major because you guys are doing science and everybody else does that. So she just looked down on us for that. So it's like she always had stuff to say like that. Like it was always a competition. It was always she's better than us.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why I realized, like slowly listening to it, I had to cut her off.
Yeah,
because that slowly messes with your like mental health. You're thinking like, well, should I not do science anymore? Like, because everyone else is doing it. Like, am I not going to get a good job after this? Like, am I just going to be like everyone else? Am I going to be that one person that literally just fits in with everyone else and doesn't really stand out? So that kind of messes with your mental health.
Yeah. And for them too, it's like they see everyone else as competition instead of someone that can support you. That's terrible.
That's an ally.
And I think that's a trait to look for too, is somebody who takes everything, even like regular, like you said, like just going to school, like what your major is versus what my major is. Like, it's not a competition. And I think that a lot of people forget that in everyday life, whether it's like girl on girl or like black on black. There's like always this like sense of competition where it's like, I don't want you to do as well as me because it's only room for one of us, and it's like, why does it only have to be room for one?
Exactly. This world is really big. really, really big. It's a lot of room out here.
Don't disagree.
And that can even go back to like your families when you come home for Christmas or Thanksgiving and they ask, the whole Thanksgiving clapback thing, like that can easily fall like into this category where they're just like, oh, you got a boyfriend yet? You got a girlfriend yet? And it's just like, no, it's like, it's just like, am I supposed to have it?
Yeah, or they'll do the cousin comparison. Well, this cousin's doing this, and then this cousin does, what are you doing?
Yeah. Exactly. It makes you compare yourself to everyone else.
They say comparison is the thief of happiness.
You ain't lying.
Yeah.
That's true.
Whoever they is, they ain't lying. All right. Well, this is a great talk. It was. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this talk. We plan on doing more talks around friendships and all types of relationships and more pop culture videos. Just all types of videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And,
comment down below if you don't like call your friends out, but like if you've experienced this, like just don't call them. We don't want to get you in trouble. We won't start no fights, nothing like that down below in the comments. But if you have had experiences like this, then comment those experiences down below. Like, we want to talk to you and discuss. We want to hear about it.
Yeah, we wanna
and like
know.
we kind of shared a little bit of our experiences, but we want you guys to get in on the discussion as well. So comment those stories down below.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Of course.
Please subscribe. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.